Going live with the AI Mastermind, where we are going to cover today how to use AI to make more sales, even inside a sales framework. And not only that, we're going to talk about how to use AI to convert your basic explanation of your program into a selling tool. And I'm also going to tell you about a really cool movement called the 11 Billion Lives Movement. A lot to cover. Hubert Lee, how are you this afternoon?
Welcome, welcome. I'm good. It's raining out, but I'm inside and dry. And don't forget, we're also going to help some of our members with some live feedback of their marketing materials. So that's awesome. And I'm going to cover some late breaking news also from ChatGTP.
You're going to talk about my Sora friend?
Well, we're gonna jump in. We're gonna help. We're gonna have all kinds of stuff. And originally, I'm gonna tell a couple of jokes.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, that's the scary part. All right, my friend. So where would you like to kick this off today? Lots to
Well,
cover. Lots and
I,
lots to
I
cover.
think we have a couple of people still joining late, all of our members. So I would like actually, while they're onboarding here, I know you've been traveling. I know you've been doing some of your, mastermind type of stuff. So I'm going to ask you to give us a recap of that. But also, I know that you recently conducted for a private client a very rigorous boot camp that you did, and kind of just remind the folks of what that kind of stuff covers. Remind our members that everybody has access to our worksheet. And I'd like you to kind of explain what that is and why it's good for people internally to go through either with themselves or with their team, that whole process, just to kind of tweak everything again.
Yeah, so let's just do that real quick. Let me walk through this worksheet because it is so powerful when you actually do this. And I'm going to pull it up on my screen.
That's
So
great.
here we go. So here we have a partner attraction formula worksheet for a client. And if you'll notice, all of the various things that this covers are in the left-hand navigation. If you were to go over to the right-hand side and take a look at how long is it, well, that's 36 pages worth of content. Some people might say, wow, that's a tremendous amount of work. And I would say to you, yes, it is. It is work, but you only have to do it once. And then you have messaging that can last you for the life of your current business, which is super cool. So when you walk down through this, first thing we do is discover somebody's mind type. So here's a few people. We discovered their mind types, their superpower, what is their kryptonite, etc. Really making sure that they know who they are, what they stand for. We then review communication keywords. What are the words that are as powerful as their name? These are things that give you ninja powers of influence. And then as we keep on going, we go through a bunch of other stuff. What is the essence of what you do? What are your strengths? What is the what is your vision? What are your core values? All of these are part of your master worksheet. Totally worth going through the process. And you can use the videos that go along with these to get an even better output. And then when you get down into they're going to defining your ideal partner or prospect, where do you find them? What are their pain points? What are the solutions they're looking for? What do they want? You really get super deep in all of this content. And then, of course, you get to, okay, now let's tell the company story. We create a company story and finally work our way into limbic messaging. This is where this gets kind of fun. You have one of the client members limbic messages, another limbic messages, another limbic messages, and then some and so on. And all of this is content that you can then deploy across your website. So where is the big and then taglines and more? And it just keeps going so that by the time you go through this whole process, Hubert, you literally have a marketing baseline for almost anything you want to do.
That's awesome.
Now, wait a second. But there's this weird new tool, man. This weird new tool called AI. And with AI and the prompt library that we have, you literally can do this all using prompts. Of course, you're going to want to input your own feedback, your own juju, your own authenticity, genuine expression of who you are. But let's not work so hard without using a tool that makes the output even better at an infinitesimally small amount of the time that it used to take. Your
I
thoughts?
know that there was one that when we conduct the workshops live, it it's relatively low value in terms of its usage, but took an enormous amount of time because people had to rack their brains for it. And I'm talking about recently when you asked, think of all the things that you do, the tasks related to, you know, each function. And everybody would be sitting there thinking, oh my God, this, that, or the other thing. Richly, you tell me, because you went through it recently, how fast is it now when you use AI to do that research?
It's super ridiculous is what it is, man. I mean, it is one of those things. And let's just do this for a second. Let's just do this in real time. Let's suppose that you are here in ChatGPT and Hewart, give me an industry. I don't care what it is.
Okay, industrial cleaning.
An expert researcher in industrial cleaning. Give us the tasks that an industrial, all I'm doing is talking to the tool, industrial cleaning company is likely to do throughout each working day. I want a comprehensive list of tasks and a basic explanation of each one. Notice I'm not cleaning up my typos because it doesn't matter, right? AI can read right through that and it cleaned them up for me. There we go. So look at this. All right, let's take a look at the task. Pre-shift safety briefing, and after the pre-shift safety briefing, equipment and supply preparation, and general area cleaning, and in each one of those, there's a whole bunch of other things, right? Sweeping, mopping, scrubbing floors, cleaning, dusting surfaces, including toilets, urinals, sinks, floors, hygiene, waste removal, recycling, deep cleaning, disinfectant. There's no way you could even write this fast, Hubert Lee. You couldn't even write this fast if you were the fastest writer in the world.
Exactly. And it also keeps people from you know, just shifting their state where they're like, oh, okay, let me kick back and think about this. It just takes them totally out of the flow.
And this is only during the actual cleaning process. What other tasks must this company do to run its day-to-day business? Oh, okay, there's more than that. Guess this. And so client communication, service management, and we have staff management, which is recruiting, hiring, training, managing, scheduling shifts, monitoring performance, staff compliance, supply chain management, quality control, financial management, budgeting, invoicing,
That's
payroll.
awesome. So Ridgely, can you please flip back to the worksheet and tie that back into where would this go, and just explain to everybody, particularly those that haven't gone through the worksheet yet, the importance of identifying the tasks, and then what happens after you do. I mean, just to give away the punchline, the idea is to focus on, you know, what you should be doing instead of, you know, what you shouldn't be doing. But can you just show us that task portion just to kind of walk us through that?
Okay, so for example, I'd go back to the document. I would look in the left-hand corner. I would see tasks. And it says, write down all of your daily tasks. This includes any activities that are conducted in every facet of your business, from accounting to product development to sales, marketing, operations, human relations, etc. And you're going to get a few from the people that work there. There's one person, JB, BO, WH, and CF, 4 people that were doing the workshop, and they created a bunch of tasks. Or you could go and look at over here on ChatGPT, and you'd see that we have 30 defined in probably less than 1 minute with much greater depth that would instantly fit into this.
Right.
And then from there, we say, okay, what do you do particularly well? Your strengths, outline those. Over in ChatGPT, you could say, okay, take a look at this website for this industrial cleaning company, identify the things they do particularly well. In 20 seconds, it would be done. And then you put it back over here under strengths. And then if we were to say, and I'll do this exercise with AI, capture in a few single sentences the essence of what you do. This involves looking at the task and distilling them down. Let's just take that prompt right there. I'm going to tweak it just a little bit in ChatGPT. And I'm going to say, looking at your tasks and distilling down into a few words, the core of what the business does. Give me 5 versions. Bam. Okay, and here we go. At our core, we provide tailored industrial cleaning services that prioritize client needs, ensuring their operational environments are clean, safe, and compliant. We maintain the heartbeat of industries by ensuring their operational space are impeccably clean. Okay, now this is going to bug me. Okay. Rewrite this without using the verb ensure. Bugs me. My number one pet peeve word on AI, man. So there we go. Now we have a new version in literally 12 seconds with no ensures that makes it sound like AI. There you go, Hubert Lee. That's how it works.
Awesome. That's cool. And then, of course, just we don't need to demonstrate it now, but why in our methodology are we asking them to look at their tasks, identify their strengths, get to the essence? What is the purpose of all of that in terms of the partner attraction formula?
Because look at the messaging that you now create. We empower businesses by creating clean, safe, and motivating, etc. We blend cutting-edge cleaning technology with a commitment to reliability, integrity, and excellence. How powerful is that to be able to use on the website itself of an industrial cleaning company, saying this is what we do?
Great. Yes. And then, of course, we take the further steps that are outlined in the rest of the document to kind of limbify it and make it emotional and all of that. This is particularly important. And the reason why I wanted to kind of demonstrate all of this is because originally, how many times have we worked with our members where at the essence of what they're having difficulty with is trying to decide from all of the stuff that they offer to be able to express it in a condensed, concise way, and then also to make it emotional. So it's just like shortcuts everything. So that's great. Now, Richard, this session that you had, this workshop session, I mean, this was one of these marathon sessions where you were sitting down and grinding through and discovering people's mind types and everything else, right? I mean, a full-on workshop.
Full-on workshop. It was great and got a tremendous amount out of it. That was actually, gosh, really yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. Wow, the days are all kind of running together. So this was for very interesting company. What they do is they provide high-level staffing for technical jobs, like really difficult technical jobs, not normal type jobs. They're all over the country. And we had our first session yesterday. Let me grab that, and I want to show you a little bit about what we came up with in a very short amount of time by way of learning. Here we go. So again, here's their worksheet. And as usual, if you go down here, you'll see a number of different people that we work with, a team of 9 that were on there with us. And I'm going to go down to limbic messaging, straight to limbic messaging. And of course, we went in there and created limbic messaging from each of the different people, followed by RG, that's me, AI, right? So I came up with the limbic messaging using AI. So we had the combination of the people's work, genuine and authentic because it comes from them, and then using, so here, because something matters, and then all the way down to the AI messaging that I was coming up with, same thing on you deserve statements, etc. And then all the way down to we picture a world statements, all done by AI. Now, let me just grab something else that I want to share with everybody. What can you do with all that? That is super cool. I want to open this up to share right now so you can see this, because it really is, this is where we go to old school. So we have the prompts that will show you how to use this information, but you can also do it the old school way, which is I grabbed all of the messages that we came up with in the workshop, plus using AI, and then I put them on a Word doc, use the number button, the number function, which is right up there in your top level navigation right here, right there, it says numbering, use the number function. And I said, vote for them. Vote for the ones you like the best. Everybody gets 3 votes. So you can see number 2 here has 5 stars. You look a little bit further down, you go, oh, okay, number 26 has 4 stars. Did the same thing with all of the other messages. And now, and after that, you'll notice it says services, employers, about, services, etc. Those are suggestions from the team members as to where these messages could go on their website to improve the website. You deserve messages, etc. We picture a world where messages, all of it. And then below, I included all of the content that we came up with using AI, so that now the client has all of their original messaging that they came up with, all of the AI content that I came up with, voted on all of the original messaging. They all know their mind types. We now have placement for the various messages, and all of that was done in 3 hours.
Wow, that's incredible.
That's
So
incredible. You just can't do that
yeah,
in
you
the
just
modern
can't.
world without AI.
And so already, just to set the context for everybody, especially we have some of the newer members on. So already, the partner attraction formula, following this worksheet, without AI, already it condensed weeks and weeks of branding sessions and team building and all kinds of stuff. It condensed all of that into, a day or two's worth of work. Now, what Ridgely is showing you, and actually, I'm so glad we're discussing this, because Ridgely, we actually haven't discussed this integration of the AI piece with the worksheet in one of our masterminds in quite a while. So this is very valuable. And so now with the AI assist in it, you're hearing that Ridgely says this whole thing can be done in a couple of hours, and that represents weeks and months of concentrated work that we used to take, that long to do in the old days.
For sure. It's so much faster, right? You can do an incredible amount of work in a small amount of time because you have the framework, you watch the video, and then you say, okay, let me get my stuff down there too. And don't skip this. You don't want to skip this piece of doing your work as well, so that your authenticity is part of that. Hubert, you want to say a little more about that? Because I think it's really important.
Yeah, no, it's the work is just like incredible. I mean, like, well, so this has my head spinning in all kinds of ways, Ridgely.
Yeah, like
How many earlier Ridgely started by saying, you do it once and we're good. How many projects, Ridgely, have we done where we get called in by a member who at first didn't need our help doing their website or something like that, but then we get called in, say, even like a year later, okay? And it's time then to generate the messaging for the website. When we do it and we access the worksheet, that stuff is as valuable now as it was, a year ago, because it doesn't address temporal stuff. It's more like values, core things that are deep-seated and limbic. Like Ridgely, so for the Roxanne thing, I'm relying on the worksheet and workshop that you did. And I'm not sure how long ago it was, but it certainly wasn't a month or so ago. It was probably a year ago, right? And so it's still super helpful. So the front-loaded work is well worth it. I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah. And so then one of the big things that has come up today, and Natalie's with us today. Great to see you, Natalie. Great to see you this morning in a meeting that we had, is what do you do when you have so much content that it's almost difficult to deal with? So I think it would be helpful for me to show that a little bit, not to go too deep because it's not necessary, but I want to show two things. One, could you take a framework and use AI to write prompts? Okay. Now this is top secret information here.
Top secret.
I'm not sure we should be sharing this information, but here's the deal. If there is a well-known system, a proven system, something that's out there that has been vetted, it has been audited, it has been critiqued, it has been commented on by multiple experts over the, say, 10 years, you probably don't need to buy it anymore, because there's this thing called AI that can go and grab all that information for you. Just saying. Now, what do I mean by that? I'm being a little bit facetious. Obviously, if you need something, please pay the people that created it for that thing. But if you're looking to say, wow, what systems are out there that teach selling? What systems are out there that teach lead generation? What systems are out there that teach prospecting? And you identify one of those, you can study that system a little bit and begin to write prompts that are created to use that system, and then use AI to get the output from the system that you don't even need to understand exactly how it works. This is a
Yeah.
little crazy,
It
right?
is a little crazy. And originally, so let me just give a personal example, and then originally I'll go back to this example. And again, without naming names, and this one is not a sales system. This one's a content like writing, kind of a content marketing type system. And I'm not going to name this system, but it was quite famous. It is quite famous about teaching you how to like create a story and use storytelling to promote your brand. Okay. Now, the concept of it was great, but the implementation of it. So originally, the last time this popped up, Mark Hughes wanted to send me to training, and so you have to go and fly to a thing, and it's a whole commitment, and you have to go through the course and blah 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 and all of that. Okay, or you can use the AI way that is now like I'm not going to say it's just as good, but folks. So anyway, I just want to set that setting is not just about like any particular framework. It's just across the board.
Well, and let's also recall that you also have to be versed in how to use AI, because it's not enough to just use AI by itself. You have to understand the concept and what is the intent behind the concept that then turns into using AI. So we are going to use a real live example here. Natalie's with us. Give me a thumbs up, Natalie, that I'm okay to do this.
While we're waiting for her thumbs up, Ridgely, can I tell you a joke? Carefully selected joke.
Hey, I'm ready. Can't wait.
Okay, cool. Okay, I was gonna tell a pizza joke, but I decided it was too cheesy. Okay, so the joke I'm gonna tell you is this. Ridgely, why did the scarecrow get promoted?
Why is that, Hubert?
Because he was so outstanding in his field.
Okay, that was actually pretty good. All right, so that is pretty good, man.
Okay, and then also too, while we're waiting for the thumbs up, shout out to Federico Ridgely. His first comment was in the chat. He said, "Thank goodness we both got his memo about wearing the brown and orange shirts."
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty bad. So want to show you a framework thing that we did, that we created. Got the go ahead from Natalie. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Because we actually were doing this for Natalie's company. But I want to show you the framework. So take a look. So this thing is called, the framework we use is called the Action Selling Program. And they have an action selling framework. Okay. So action selling framework has 9 different acts to it. Commitment objective, get your commitment objective. Number 2 is all about people skills. Number 3 is ask the best questions. Number 4 is agree on the need, whatever the need is. Number 5, sell the company. Number 6, sell the product. Number 7, ask for the commitment. Number 8, confirm the sale. And then you replay and you debrief. So that is the whole methodology, right? So I'm just going to use part 1, act number 1, to show you how using AI, you literally can take any well-known program that's out there and get AI to help you implement this at a speed that you could never, ever, ever do yourself or with a team, right? So act number 1 of the action selling program is to get a commitment objective. A commitment objective is a goal you set for yourself to gain feedback from the customer in the form of an agreement that moves the sale process forward. Your commitment objective is your action plan for the sales call. You plan the entire sales interaction around the commitment objective you set. That is Act 1 of 9 of the action selling framework. Okay, so then what could we do? I said, we wrote this thing, act as an expert sales leader, knowledgeable about the action selling framework. Ask me a series of questions to help me with Act 1, commitment objective. In your dialogue with me, coach me in implementing the act. Is this not the craziest thing ever? I'm literally getting AI to become my action selling framework coach to ask me the questions that I need for each step of the framework, which are called acts, right? So it says, absolutely, I'd be happy to guide you through Act 1, commitment objective action selling framework. It then gives me an explanation. This is a crucial first step as it sets the stage for the entire sales process. It's about defining a clear, achievable goal for your sales call or meeting that moves the sale forward. Let's dive in with some questions to help you define your commitment objective effectively. This is AI. This is AI coming back to me without even putting the name of a company in there yet. Part 1, understand the customer's current situation. Can you describe your target customer's current situation or challenge that your product or service can address? Understanding this will help us tailor the objective to what the customer values most. 2, identify desired outcomes. 3, assess the sales stage. At what stage are they so far? 4, define a realistic commitment. 5, measure success. 6, plan for obstacles. 7, align with customer value. Now, next steps. Can you see how much clarity you could get around your commitment objective in the before a sales meeting with a prospect if you went through this process? And can you also see the insane amount of time it would take if you were doing this by yourself, or if you had to do it with a team where everybody had to agree to this? But with AI, so now it says, notice what it says here. Would you like to go through these questions one by one to craft your commitment objective? Note to self, way easier to go through them one by one, right? Most people would take this many steps and be fully overwhelmed as to what you need to do. But if you break them down one by one, yes, please. Let's start with the first question. Understand the customer's current situation. And now it gives you, and I'm just going to stop there for a second. Can you describe your target customer's current situation or challenge that your product or service can address? Try to be as specific as possible about the problems they're facing or the needs they have that your offering can solve. So what would I do? I would go in there and I'd answer the question as best I could. Then I go, okay, great. Let's go to number 2. What is number 2 here? Identify desired outcomes. What is number 3? Assess the sales stage. And I would get a big bunch of output, a deep bunch of output. We're still working on the commitment. So now, Hubert Lee.
Yes,
If
sir.
I were to do that with anybody's company, and there's a bunch of people on here with all kinds of different industries, coaching and graphic design and legal and filming and just industrial cleaning, and there's just all kinds of cool stuff here. Lots of people. And if I were to do all that, even if I was doing it quickly, it might only take me an hour, maybe an hour and a half to answer all those questions fully. I would end up with like 15 pages worth of stuff. And honestly, there is a very real danger, team, that you could be completely overwhelmed.
Yes, and if not
Unless
complete,
you knew Hubert's hacks. So let's get to, I want to go through this, Hubie. It's important because people, you go, oh my God, Ridgely, I just went down 15 rabbit holes and I spent 13 hours doing this thing. And now I don't know exactly what I'm supposed to do. And how do I do this? So Hubert, how do we corral the massive strength of this tool into something that can help somebody, even when they do the work to come up with a tremendous output that has incredible depth to it, to be able to actually use that? How do we do that?
yes. So before we get, the answer is there are certain prompts that I always run. But before we do that, okay, let's just go old school. Okay, so in the scenario that Ridgely was talking about, where you actually develop the prompt and have it run you through a framework, okay, whether it be action selling framework or some sort of content development framework or everything else, okay? When you start getting the output, Ridgely and I are big fans, and this is not necessarily obvious, okay? We're big fans of copying out of your AI session and pasting it preferably into a Google Doc. So this is low tech, Ridgely, but this is like super important. Why? You can easily lose a chat session, or you can easily wind up with a chat session that you just keep hammering until it starts to hallucinate and goes off the rails. And then now you got one that went off the rails. Now what do you do? Right? So even when we say, hey, take this resource from us, the first thing you do is make a master copy. Keep that around untouched. Then, as you start doing your work, copy and paste your work out of a chat and keep that around. Right? I mean, this is kind of low-tech stuff, but this management of the version control is super, super important. Now, and again, before we get into the prompts,
Let me
conceptually say, Yes.
Okay. Before you go any further, one sec. Guys, this is really important. And you will kick yourself if you don't do this. Grab your content, cut it, and paste it somewhere. But the second step that Hubert said, I want to make sure nobody overlooks this second step. Then work on a copy of your copy. So what I do is I take a Word doc, for instance, I like Word. You can do it in Google, you can spreadsheet, you can whatever you want, wherever you want to put your copy, put it in there, and then I leave the original intact so that I know all of the intelligence that goes behind the original output. I recopy that original output below the first copy, and I work only on one of them so that I preserve the original intelligence, and then I'm refining the piece that I want to work on so that you can always go back when you can't remember. Now, why does it say that? When you go back to the original, you see the logic that AI gives you behind the output, and you don't lose the thread and get yourself confused. So I just want to make sure everybody got that clear because it's really important.
Yes, very, very much so. Okay, so again, before I show you the actual stuff, because once I start showing you, your gears are going to be spinning and everything else. Just listen to this. The idea of forking, okay, and forking in development, code development and stuff like that is when you're at this point and you're going down a road and there's a fork in the road. There are two paths that are divergent and you're right before the fork. Okay. What you need to do is you need to save state before you execute either the left turn or right turn. Okay. Make a copy of where you are before you fork. Okay. So here are the two paths. This is the middle. Stop right here. Do one of these summaries that I'm going to show you how to do. Stick that away somewhere. Okay. Now you have the state before you took the left fork or the right fork. Keep that around. Now in a new chat, ideally, not only do you have it backed up on a second thing off of the AI platform, but now you can jump to a new chat. So now you can have a chat that stays before you made the decision. Now you can start a new chat. And let's say you go to the left fork. Now you're going to take that stuff and you're going to paste it in there. And then now you're going to start querying on the left fork stuff. You're going to say, oh, I'm interested in doing this, that, and the other thing, and blah, blah, blah. And you go along that path. If that turns out not to be fruitful, you can then start another chat and now paste in the original state. And now you can take the other fork and develop that one, right? So now you have A being the original one, and then B and C. Okay, so that's the idea of like saving state before you fork. Okay, now let me share my screen and share a couple of concepts. There are, of course, many, many ways to do this. And the idea, as Ridgely and I always say, is not so much to follow a magic prompt, but to kind of get the idea. Okay, and so what is extractive summarization, for example? Okay, so the concept here, okay, is extractive summarization. Oh, by the way, if you guys don't have this AI section here from Google, you can go ahead and turn it on in the Google Labs or whatever. You see this little flask up here, Search Labs. You can turn on this generative AI search. And this is so important, actually, Ridgely. I know this is like detour upon detour, but Ridgely, tell us how important in 30 seconds well, first off, tell us what SGE is and why it's so important for everybody in the future. SGE is, well, you explain it, please.
Okay, so get us back full screen for a sec here. So Search Generative Experience is Google's competition as a search engine with AI. Google is still the 800-pound gorilla when it comes to search, right? If people, in fact, it became a word, but why don't you just Google it, right? Why don't you just Google it? It means, why don't you go use Google as a search engine to find out more information about something? But classic search engine, right? Classic search engines go onto the internet and they find the most relevant thing pertaining to that particular topic that currently exists or has existed for a while that's out there. In other words, they go search for something that exists. Search generative means it's going to generate an answer based on all of the data that is out there for whatever the topic is that you're looking for. So for example, if you were to say, I go to Google and say, plan me a trip to the Napa Valley. Then what Google would do on regular search engines is it would go find a bunch of companies that plan Napa Valley trips, and it would offer you Napa Valley trip 1, trip 2, company 3, company 4, etc. When you get to search generative experience, Google is going to talk to you back and forth to refine what it is that you're looking for. And so, for example, if I say plan a trip to the Napa Valley, Google is going to say, would this be a bicycling trip or a wine tasting trip? What kind of a trip is this? What type of year would you like to go? Oh, I would like to go during this time. I'd like to go during the harvest season. I want to see how they stomp on the grapes and make wine. They don't do that anymore, by the way, but just saying. Or whatever. And it would ask you a series of questions until it refined and felt certain that Google knew exactly what you were looking for. And then it would, so extractive summarization, then it would give you a result. Now, here's why this is huge. What does that mean? It means that after you have interacted with the tool, when the tool gives you a result, you are unlikely to go try to find other results because you are satisfied by the experience. What does that mean? This is the crux, and this is critical to everybody who's in business. It means that the idea of being number 2, number 3, or number 4 in a search engine is largely going to become irrelevant. You have to have your profile created really well online so that when Google when you're querying the tool SGE, then SGE comes back with you after it's answered all your questions as the recommended source. Because if it does, you got the business. Really, really critical. Hubert, back to you.
Yes, thanks for that detour. And just for local businesses, this is super key because, and this is why Ridgely and I are so into this, you can actually influence Google by providing certain structures of data in your website and settings in GPP and so forth to make it easy for Google to grab your page and your results and your knowledge as the answer for when they do the generative search results. It's pretty freaking amazing because Google is in such a rush to offer this that right now they're grabbing the low-hanging fruit, and you can structure your website so that you represent low-hanging fruit to Google. Anyway, that's topic for another thing. Okay, back to the example. Now I dropped into the chat the word extractive summarization. Okay, and I'm going to share my screen again. Okay, and extractive summarization again is what is extractive summarization, and the point here is when I say in writing prompts, the magic is not about like finding prompts because then you're going to spend your whole life finding prompts. The essence of it is to know the concepts behind what you want. Like we want to know how to ask ChatGPT to give a great summary. Okay, well, did you know that there was okay, so the answer is extractive summarization. Okay, but look, check this out. What is the difference between abstract summarization, sorry, my typing skills, and look, what is the difference between abstract and executive summary? Mm-hmm. Abstract is a highly condensed overview of the document, while an executive summary is a standalone of the thesis in miniature. So the concept of abstract and executive summarization is actually key. So when I go to then, hold on, and I know I'm blathering and it's, look at this, difference between abstract and extract summarization. Extractive summarization techniques select and combine existing sentences from a text to create a summary. In contrast, abstractive techniques generate new sentences while keeping the essence of it. For the purposes of this forking thing that we're talking about, what we want is extractive summarization. Okay. So now you may say, yeah, but how do you know that in the first place? Well, that's where you got to do your research. The power of this particular mastermind is because it's full of geeks like Ridgely and me and all of the members that are on, that everybody has a specialty about something, right? And so rather than go on the internet and not know the difference between one prompt versus another, you can kind of look at it and see that breadth of knowledge. When somebody says, oh, okay, I'm using abstract summarization in this case to write a prompt, you know it's going to work much better in that case. Okay, so now I know Rich is going to reel me back because I went far afield. Let me drop this link into the chat here for us. You guys can take a look at this and well, actually, I'll drop it in a second. Let me just keep talking so that I don't waste your time. Okay, this is a page full of prompts about using it to summarize ChatGPT. Okay, you can summarize you can edit all of these to get what you want, and the answer is basically I will say something like this. I will say using extractive summarization techniques, condense this chat into a summary that I can copy and paste and use in the future to get back to this place in the chat. Okay, and now actually, Ridgely, it's a good idea. I'm actually going to write that up and put that in Hubert's Hacks. Okay, and
good.
I know this is an example that covers many different niches. I'm going to write one that is good for everyone on this group to actually use. But the issue is that there are good things and there are bad things about different ways of summarizing chats. I will tweak it. I will actually look back in my client projects, pull the right ones, and then get that in there. And the advantage of doing that is that you get this thing that you then keep, and you keep forking. Now, forking upon forking is important too, because you get to where you want to go. Now, I'm going to totally geek out, but the other aspect of this is we had in Natalie's meeting this morning feedback saying that they felt that it started going off the rails and they had to correct it. Okay, remember Ridgely? But when it was said that ChatGPT forgot like a basic premise of it. Granted, it was a rather complicated and convoluted kind of a situation in the sales scenario, but the user felt that it started losing its way. So I said, you can always treat it like a real chat as a person, and you can say, oh, by the way, party A and party B relationship is this, and party C is this, and fold that back into the chat. Okay. Now, if it gets too convoluted and it doesn't get back on track, that's when you can go back to that summary and then restart it. Now, one other thing, and then I'm going to get off the stage. The concept of, oh, let me put the same prompt in so that I can get that chat back. It doesn't work that way. You might say, Hubert, why are you summarizing? I have my original prompt. I can just run that again. Generative AI never spits out the same results twice. If you ever fool around with images, you'll know that to be true. When you do image generation and you run a prompt and it's close, you can't say, oh, now just tweak this element on that image. If you run that, you get like another brand new image. Generative AI each time starts from scratch. So the idea of cutting and pasting stuff before you lose it, I know it sounds so low tech, but it's something that you definitely have to do at this point. So originally, I'm going to turn it back to you now that I've confused like everyone utterly. Boy, are you sorry you went and sent me down this rabbit hole?
No, you went down the rabbit hole. I didn't send you
anywhere. I know.
So let me bring up here Dr. Art, and you want to answer real quickly Natalie's question about Gemini. What happened? Why did Gemini go off the rails and down into?
Oh my God! So okay, well, I'll dive deeper into this in the next one, but we're gonna see more cases, Natalie, of this kind of thing where major projects kind of like go off the rails. There's the current situation now, as Jim pointed out to me because I was so busy. There's a whole hoo-ha about like image generation concerning, some sensitive things with, wartime images and stuff like that. And so Natalie, I'll beg off on that question because it's kind of like a big thing. I think we're going to see a lot more of these fails up with major players coming up soon.
Yeah, and just to give you a sense, what Google CEO Pichai said was, it's all about tuning. The tuning was off, so they have to retune. So they have people working around the clock to tune AI to get it to give you the output that they really need. So, Art, great to see you. So you're doing a lot of work over here. Very good, very cool, and
yeah, nice to see another plaid shirt aficionado on the screen, Dr. Art.
So check this out. So this is what we got. So we got, and by the way, I don't know why, or I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna say it this way. We encourage everybody, send us stuff that you would like us to help you with, right? So Art's got some great content that he was putting together. And he drafted some content, which is excellent. And because this is an AI mastermind, I immediately did the following. I went over to ChatGPT and I said, okay, you are an expert copywriter and direct response whiz. Take the following copy and give us suggestions of what we can do to make it more powerful and persuasive. In other words, I didn't say rewrite it, because that would be like, well, I'm not learning anything. I said, give us suggestions. So, of course, please provide the copy you'd like me to enhance. And then I took the content that you wrote, Art, from here, popped it right in, and then following that, ChatGPT says, to make your Leap Day announcement more powerful and persuasive, consider the following suggestions. Leap Day announcement. Unlock the secret to product safety and avoid liability. Leap into innovation with Dr. Art Extat. Pretty interesting what it comes up with, right? Then the opening, original. Leap Day is unique and it occurs once every 1,461 days. Also unique is a leap into a new service, da-da-da. Here we go, suggested. Just as Leap Day graces our calendar once every 4 years, a groundbreaking opportunity is now within your reach, introducing an unparalleled service designed exclusively for product manufacturers, liability insurance providers, and champions of product safety. Right? So then the next one was engage with a question. The goal is to have safer products because safe products matter. A little bit of limbic message there. That's good. Suggested. Why settle for the status quo when you can lead the market with products that are not just safe, but exemplary? And original. We all believe in it, right? So we literally walk down the piece and it is giving us an opening, engage with a question, highlight the problem and the solution, establish authority, offer and call to action, how to respond, close, and hashtags and signatures. So we can dig a little deeper if you want, Art, into this, but I wanted to show you the main thing is to just think, wait a second, let me just grab this guy. Let me bring it over here. And then from here, of course, I can refine this completely. Right? I can start to give more instructions and iterate on the process. Art, your thoughts?
Oh, this is great. That's just it. I created the message and then I said, okay, based on everything we've been doing, I know it could be a lot better. Why not ask the group, since it's something I want to publish tomorrow, what I can do. So I've got the answer today to publish tomorrow. And you just give me the path.
Well, I can give you more than the path, because watch this. This is just suggestions. Now I can say, great, implement all of your suggestions into a new piece that celebrates leap year. Here's a revised version of the announcement. Bada bing. Now it does it all for you. Why would you have to do all that work? Right?
That's a great birthday present, guys.
Right? Happy birthday. It's all good. Now, let's play with this a little bit. This version aims to be more engaging, persuasive, action-oriented. Who's the target audience that we're talking about here, just for fun?
Well, it said there was multiple targets in that first paragraph. The product manufacturers, products liability insurance providers, and others involved in product safety.
Okay, so let's just make the, for the sake of this exercise, let's just make the assumption that everybody likes to have a little fun. Okay, so you could
Yeah.
say, terrific,
Leap day, something unique. Yeah.
thank you. Make it more edgy and funny with a greater emphasis on leap day and the rarity of that.
Yeah, that's what I was going for.
Give us a new version. I know it sounds crazy, man, but I swear I do the majority of my writing with AI now. I then tweak it and leap into safety, because waiting another 4 years is just ridiculous. Right? Ever notice how leap day sneaks up on us? Like one relative who only visit once every 4 years, but instead of awkward small talks, it brings a golden opportunity. This leap day, we're not just adding an extra day to February, we're revolutionizing product safety in a way that's as rare and exciting as leap day itself. Why be ordinary when you can be legendary? Right? Meet the man who leaps over liability lawsuits in a single bound. Dr. Art Eckstadt, the only person who takes product safety more seriously than a cat takes napping. With 25 years of making products safer and defending them in court, he's basically the superhero we need, but probably haven't heard of until now. He's been honored by the Smithsonian, but let's be honest, his real superpower is keeping your products out of the courtroom.
Yeah, I can work with that.
Right? That's what I'm saying, brother. It's like you look at this and you go, what? I can't even do that. There's no way, man. Look at this stuff. Seriously, who knows what you'll be doing the next leap day? Email art@lawsuitsconsultant.com with book in the subject line to get a leap on product safety. It's the kind of decision the future will thank you for, probably on another leap day, making a toast to your foresight. Right?
Yeah, I like the invitation.
Right? And, super cool. Now add in a bunch of fun and relevant emojis.
That's something I never think to do.
So now it's gonna come up with some stuff for you. I mean, they're little things, but they grab the attention just a little bit. Invest in your products. It's easy just to be another little fish. Fish. Why swim when you can leap? Let's face it, being safest is even better. Rocket. Person, right? Then a cat takes napping, little cat. Products out of the courtroom. Legal thing. So again, what we're hopefully everybody's getting, and get some funny faces over here, perfect, is that the tool is getting better and better and better. I thought you were going to show Sora, Hubert. I thought that's the next thing. It's just like,
Oh no.
So Sora, by the way, just came out. It's still a little goofy. Anyway, Art, what else can I do to help you here?
Well, the big problem I always run into is, the messages always have an image to start things with. And this is where, people like Bridget are the experts, and I flail at this, I think in words, and I have a hard time, but what kind of image should lead off this article?
Well,
this
first of all,
posting?
there's the chat. The chat content is now in the chat here. So make sure you grab that, Art, because when I start asking it for images, it won't summarize this chat. So I just gave it to you.
Yeah, I just
Yeah,
copied it.
so often what I'll do, and this goes back to before, you can create a summary of it and then start another chat, or just open another chat window and just say what you're looking to do, what it's about, and suggest an image. Bridget in the chat just said you can prompt for images.
Well, so let's try it each way. Here we go. Terrific. Can you suggest a powerful and fun image to go at the top of this announcement? The leap of innovation. There we go. It's giving us stuff, and let's see if it'll do it for us. It may
Now,
not.
by the way, Ridgely, it would be my opinion that if it doesn't do it in this chat, that would be good, because then you can take these image concepts, go to another chat and do it there. That way you keep it clean between a text thread and an image one.
Yep, here we go. So we're going to do exactly that. Can you give me an image based on the following? And I'm not even activating Michelangelo. I'm just going to do it. See what happens. Yeah, now it's going to tell me how to do that. Okay, so I got to go get a plugin.
They're telling you to contact.
Ridgely, what's going on is you left it in plugin mode. You have to repeat this prompt over in general ChatGPT 4.
Oh, okay.
So you can drop that down, go to 4, because it's gonna take 4's DALL-E integration.
All right.
And paste it in there now.
Thank you. There we go. Now I got an image coming for you.
So everybody, you got to always remember, how you're driving this thing if you're using the prompts and all of that. And the other big news that I wanted to drop, I just saw this, and Ridgely and I were talking about it. These ChatGPT plugins that we've all grown to love and use, the plugins are going away.
Yeah, they are.
Plugins was a beta, and it's going to go away, and it's going to be folded into these general custom GPTs.
So there you go. The leap of innovation, Art. There's one of them for you.
Rabbit's DLY. That's DALL-E. And that, of course, whenever I try to correct mistakes in DALL-E,
Right. Yeah. Now, speaking of that, Bridget gives a formula here. She says, you use ChatGPT to create prompts for Midjourney, and then go over to Midjourney and run the prompts there. And then she says, that's the gold. And we have seen some of Bridget's very creative output. And if that's her workflow, I would definitely go with that. I don't use Midjourney myself just because I don't want to get super into the image generation side of things, but she'll be our expert. Bridget says, I've trained my team now to do this. So cool. That would be awesome, Bridget, if you in the future do an actual demo of that workflow for us. That'd be great.
And just so that you can play with it also, Art, if you look in the chat, I guess it's too long. It's not letting me drop that in the chat. I will instead send it to you in an email, the prompt that you can use.
And now don't forget that the breakthrough that Ridgely and I with this mastermind have done is we use ChatGPT to create the prompts that would be maximum, benefit. Similarly, the concept here is we're using ChatGPT to create a prompt for Midjourney, or what other tools are. So, using, Ridgely was just saying this just the other day. He said the real breakthrough came, and as a matter of fact, Ridgely, I'm going to ask you to end the session with a recap of any of the learnings you've learned from your masterminds. But I know that he got a lot of kudos for sharing the prompt creator in his masterminds. So, Ridge, after we let Dr. Art go, I want you to kind of recap that whole adventure.
You got what you need for now, Art? Good?
Yes, thank you. And
You're so
you,
welcome.
Bridget, thanks.
Thanks, Art. Good luck.
Thanks.
All right. Just real quick, I have a pet project, part of a council. Very, very cool people are involved in it. It's about creating a consciousness that is a little bit different out there. If you are interested in doing something cool, go over to 11billionlives.org and sign up. It's an aspirational thing. I just came out of a council of very serious personal development leaders. And it's a very cool thing. Only 150 people have participated yet. So please go check out 11billionlives.org. It's very, very cool. And Hubert would even like the website. Brand new, literally up and running in the last week. So
if you like it, I love it.
All right, go sign up, people. Just go sign up. It's very cool. All right, just wanted to recap. What was my biggest takeaway from the latest mastermind? Biggest by far is find you're already doing. So congratulations. My biggest, and I keep saying this everywhere, when it comes to AI, get a coach, join a group, join a mastermind, get in a program, do something to keep refining your skills, because it keeps going deeper and deeper, faster and faster, more and more effective. So that was the biggest takeaway. What did I see people doing? Taking advantage of the AI tools. So what are the tools that you're using to edit with YouTube? What are the tools that you're using to create shorts out of long form content? What are the tools you're using to do testing on your Facebook? YouTube just came out with A/B split testing on thumbnails. Are you aware of that? In other words, the biggest takeaway that I got was there's no way to know everything. There's no way to stay on top of everything. But in your zone of genius, whatever that is, make sure you're using AI and getting coaching on AI for that particular zone of genius, because there's a new tool coming out all the time, and these tools are great. So the one I mentioned earlier is called Sora, S-O-R-A, just came out, I think, last week. It is a text to video production tool. So if you Google Sora, is it good enough for prime time as of yet? No, you type in stuff and then suddenly one person's way bigger than another person, but you can literally type in, like if it was this, you say, handsome, striking Chinese bald guy who's a computer programmer at working inside a mastermind, sharing his genius with the world, smiling and telling a story. And you hit that, and boom, there you'd see Hubert right there, coming out with some content, literally in a matter of seconds. So very, very cool. We knew that text to video was on its way. It is here. Ready for prime time? No, but quite interesting to see. So go check out Sora if you have a moment. And Hubert, for the final joke of the day, back to you.
Wait. Before the joke, though, I promised them you would tell us the feedback about the kudos you got for the prompt creator and the idea of using AI to create and optimize its own prompts.
So these are the smartest marketers on the planet, right?
And folks, this is something that you all have access to as a member of this mastermind. It's in Ridgely's private prompt library. Get that document, and it's the first prompt.
Yeah, it is right here. Very first one. Super awesome prompt, and you definitely want to be using it right there. Prompt creator, right at the top of Ridgely's prompt library. So grab it because you have access to it. Really, really good. So we had a chance at Flight Club. We always do this. We call them best wins. What are your best wins? And we go around sharing what are the best wins that are out there. And again, I'm in a room of people where I always feel like one of the dumber people in the room, and there's so many smart people in there. And after sharing Prompt Creator and what it does and how it works, I have now had 5 people on the spot ask me, and multiple people hitting me up via email, via WhatsApp, and via text to get that Prompt Creator. So just to let you know, you guys are really, really on the cutting edge of best of breed practices. Hubert Lee?
Yep. Awesome. Cool. I dropped the link on there, and so grab yourself the Prompt Creator. This level of mastermind that Ridgely is talking about is world class, and they were all oohing and eyeing and gave Ridgely, kudos, and also they nominated him as best share for sharing that. So awesome work. All right, Ridgely, tell them when our next meeting is, and then I'll do the closing joke.
All right, next meeting is going to be next Tuesday, and I believe it's actually 1 hour later than today. Yes, indeed, next Tuesday at 3 o'clock Eastern time, 3 o'clock Eastern time, Tuesday the 5th. We will look forward to seeing you there. Obviously, use our time, use our skill, etc. Support at partnerattractionformula.com. Just like Dr. Art did, send us what you need us to work on. Let us help you work on it. That's why we're here, to help and support you in any way we can. All right, Hubie.
Okay, Ridgely, this one has a prompt. Okay, paper towel on my head. All right, hold on. Here we go. Okay, how's that? Okay, so Ridgely, a pirate walks into a bar with a paper towel on his head. Right. So the bartender says, "Oh, what's going on with that?" And he says, "I got me a bounty on me head."
That was like really pretty terrible. Okay. Okay. I liked the one earlier a lot better than that. Jeez. Oh my gosh. All right, folks. Have a great rest of your week. We appreciate you as always. And see you next week. Please send us whatever you need, support at partnerattractionformula.com, and we'll catch up very soon. Ciao for now.